Hi guys, today let us learn about the concept of serialization and deserialization. If you have an 2 to 3 4 years of experience, your interviewer will definitely ask you a question based on the serialization and deserialization concept. Let us come to the topic. What is serialization? Serialization is nothing but a simple process of converting an object into a series of bytes. The process of the process of converting an object into the process of converting an object into a series of bytes is called as a serialization. When you have a class, if you want to access the data from one class to another class, you will definitely create an object to access the data from one class to another class. If you want to call that class without recreating the object, without recreating of the object, on that time we are going to use the concept of this serialization. That means and converting and data into the series of byte. Once you have created an object for the class, then you don't want to create it again and again that object for the class, but still you want to call that class but still you want to call that class. On that time we are going to use the concept of serialization. As we all know that if you have that class, the class has to be converted into an object. That object has to be converted into a series of bytes. um, whichever the class you want to convert an object, that class has to be implemented within serializable interface. The object, the Java object, if the Java object can be unserializable if that class has to implement an serializable interface. Can be serialize, can be serializable if its class implements java.io dot if that class has to be implements and serializable interface which is present in java.io.serializable package. This java.io.serializable is called as an it is called as a marker interface or an tag interface or an empty interface. This java.io.serializable is called as a marker interface. Why it is called as a marker interface means because in this there won't be any members in that interface. There won't be any members in those interfaces. And then what is deserialization? Deserialization means reverse of converting a series of bytes into an object. The reverse process of creating object from sequence of bytes. The reverse process of creating an object from sequence of byte, it's called as an deserialization. As we all know that the main features of this JVM is an platform independent. We can do this serialization in one platform and we do and deserialization in other platform also. You don't need to be do both of the serialization and deserialization within the same platform. Okay, and then we have an two classes, that is an object input stream and an object output uh, stream. These are the classes which contain some methods for serializing and deserializing the object. That methods are when we go for the code we will know those those methods which have been used in the object input stream and object output stream. And this serialization and deserialization are used for do some of the following operation as like an writing an object to the file, reading an object to the file, and then writing the object from the network. And sorry, this is a fourth point. Writing an object to the network and reading the an object from the network. To do these four operations, we are going to use an serialization and deserialization concept. This is an example. I'll show it in an Eclipse. See, I created one project with I taken one class as an employee class. In this employee class, I had taken in two variables, which is an employee number and then salary. For this employee number, I taken an data type as an int, which has been initialized with an 101 is an employee number. For the salary, I have taken an data type as an float with an salary as an 5,000. I already told you that if you want to convert an object into a series of byte, is called as a serialization. Then for this employee class, I am going to create the object. Which class I am going to create the object? That class has to be implemented with a serializable interface. This serializable interface is already present in the java.io.serializable or an star package. It is already present in the star, that is java.io.star package is already present. I had taken in one more class that is an sample class within the same package. See, first I have created an object. Mainly this input and output operations has been done in the try catch block. If we have an try block, there'll be an definitely there'll be an catch block also. If we get any exceptions or in any errors in the try block, to handle those exceptions, we'll use a catch block. See, I created an object for this employee class, which I have taken here. For this employee class, I created an object. First, I have taken and created an file object stream that will take an this location of this file. And next, I taken and I told that it has an in this it has an object output stream and an object input stream that contains some methods. That method is an write object method. First, I taken and one write object stream with an reference as an OS and new. I taken one constructor. I passed this out file output stream reference to an object output stream. I passed here. After that, I taken an reference of this object output stream, which contain already an write object. I have passed this object reference, which you have to write in this. In this, we are going to write in the file location. This file. In this file location, we are going to write the data in that. That is converting these object, these references object as a series of byte, and then we have to close that object output stream and file output stream, and we using an print statement to print the data. First, I'll print once. I'll show it how it going to give the output. See, I got an output successfully, and we have to go for the files. I created one files folder in document, that is an employee file. In that, I got in the form of bytes. Employee number, some we can't understand that in some bytes format it has shown, and employee salary, that salary has been also given, that is also has been shown in that. And next year I commented that I have done for deserialization. Until this is about and serialization. This serialization, first I taken an class. Here is a class. That class has been implemented with a serializable interface. I created an object for that class, and that class object has been converted into series of byte. I already told you that. That is done. I've shown the output in this document here. I've shown the output here. And then reversing of that byte series of byte into an object. That is an deserialization. Here also taken, I have taken and file input stream, which I passed this employee.txt file as in that location. One second. Yeah, I taken and file input stream for here for converting an object into an series of, but I use it and file output stream. For our file output is stream and file object output stream is to write the data into that file. But here when converting and that series of bytes into an object, I'm using an file or input stream that taken a reference as an FIS with a new file input stream. With an I pass it this employee dot text as an parameter, and then I taken an object input stream. I told these classes contain an two method, that is an write object for an serialization, and here write write object for serialization and read object for an deserializing. And here object out input stream I taken reference as an OS with a new constructor or in object input stream. In this I passed as a parameter of FIS as an file input stream reference. And for this deserialization, once again, we are going to create an object that is an employee E2 with an reference this employee. There only we that object input stream contain and method I told you that read object, and then we are going to print. We are using an print statement to print the employee number and salary. After all that done, we have to close those. Employee that sorry file input stream and then object input stream. If you think there is any exceptions in this try block, that can be resolved in the catch block. I'll execute this and I'll show. See, when you got an successful output, that output is for an serialization that you seen in the folder that in product some text document. After deserializing that series of bytes into an object, that is shown in the 101 and 1000 5000, that is back to the object form. This is a this is an about the serialization and deserialization concept. If you like this, please like, share, and subscribe my channel. Thank you. Stop it.